This is Aromie here. Welcome back to our life. We're here at Baxter at the bakery. I joined him. It's so cute in here. The last time we were in here was with Cove, right? I don't think we came here with Derek. The design of the sign accurately alluded to what was to come. The whole bakery was decked out in soft pinks and creams. Each dessert in the neat little rows was delightfully delicate. If the taste matched the presentation, they must be incredible. Warm air perfume with spices like cinnamon and nutmeg surrounded you completely. Whatever teenage Baxter's sharp monochrome style was supposed to be, this store was opposite of that. The sound of the bell summoned someone from the back. Clad in a simple apron with far from basic face makeup and stylish updo, the employee smiled brightly. At the risk of being presumptuous, you'd guess that was Xavier. Their whole look was made to fit with the overall aesthetic. Even the flowers in their flowing hair looked as if they were plucked right off a wedding cake.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful. You too, Baxter. Baxter, welcome. Always a pleasure. Is this a new client? Not quite, but I do have a job for you. This is Michiko, a friend of my latest couple. She is here to assist with the preparation of the event.
Well,
The lovebirds are busy with tasks of equal importance, you see. It was almost astounding how much more naturally he spoke when it was to another other than you. Though this being about his work also might have helped, Baxter was back in his element. Michiko, this is Xavier. They are the head baker and cake artist of this fine establishment. Thanks for coming in. It's good to meet you. Xavier's eyes sparkled. At first, the color seemed a pale brown, but the more you looked, the more you caught shades of purple. Hi. So what exactly can I do for you? Or your clients, rather? To be honest, it's a pinch unusual to not have even one person getting married come to commission their wedding cake. These are unusual circumstances. Baxter confessed that much with his eyes closed, when he had enough shamelessness to look Xavier directly in the face. The inherent charm of Baxter's grin had been pushed to its absolute limit.
is that fine?
Could you possibly make a 3-tier cake that is simple yet still elegant and modern in about 3 days? Xavier's perfectly painted lips popped open. Not a word came out of them, but it wasn't as if they were given a chance to object. There was more. And that schedule is including today. The wedding is Saturday afternoon. Baxter rolled his wrist smoothly, recounting each of the points set during the initial planning meeting. If he stated it as a predetermined fact, surely that meant it'd become real. For flavors, they would like chocolate and vanilla, separate for two of the tiers and combination for one. They finally cut him off there, folding their arms to find
Flavors
definitely.
are not a concern right now, monsieur.
Really?
I would say that's fairly important. Not if I can't do the order. Oh, Xavier, no need to worry. I trust in your abilities immensely. There was a scoff. Baxter kindly ignored it. Besides, there are worse arrangements. Are there? And an example of that would be, well, entirely theoretically, you could have to prepare desserts for a full-scale party the very night before the event. You blinked. Did Baxter just reference when you worked together to throw a party for Miranda? Those shared memories had played about your mind lately, especially since you were handling event desserts together again, but he'd made his interest in reminiscing known. There was none. And yet there he went, chuckling headlessly and running a hand through his hair.
Understandable.
I am sympathetic to this being a difficult task. As Michiko as my witness, I did swear to never take for granted the effort it takes to provide decorated and delicious treats under pressure. We were only able to start baking 3 dozen cupcakes at a time when many people would be going to bed. Why are you bringing this up now? I thought we were not talking about this. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Baxter glanced at your face, his eyes sparkling with affection. You weren't mistaken. He was talking about the time when you were dating. Oh, I'm hurt. And now he acknowledged you directly in his storytelling. Double stab. You did what with who? I thought she was here because of your clients. Xavier's disbelief over his words rivaled your own, except for entirely different reasons. They batted their hand encouragingly for more details. Baxter schooled his coyness into a more level-headed smile at being questioned, and you suddenly understood. He knew Xavier. He knew you. The clients he didn't know weren't there. For a moment, Baxter had forgotten his professional self. It wasn't Baxter's normal state to wall you out so completely. That was a concerted effort, one that went against his real preference. His first instinct was to still be amicable towards you. It's all true. We were up in the dead of night frosting those cupcakes. The cupcakes were only the half of it. Did you know he drank underage? No. I've known Baxter since his black and white phase. You looked away from him. You stared at him intently. It's all true. Xavier's eyes widened and so did their smile. Can you elaborate on the story? But the tangent was stopped short with a demure Let's not get too distracted. While 3 days is more than a single night, it is a tight deadline regardless. It would be rude to take up any more of your time than necessary. Baxter spoke while continuously ignoring the fact that Xavier did not accept the commission being foisted on them. Truthfully, nothing rude was allowed. As the only person in the room who might be able to understand the nonsense of what they were going through, Xavier frowned at you. He had no explanation to give for Baxter. Sighing, Xavier pressed their palms into their lower back, already feeling phantom strength from this job. I'll do it for you. That sounded about right. If a random pair of people had rolled in and began making similarly absurd demands, you couldn't imagine Xavier would have humored that. Still, a victory was a victory. Mr. Planner managed to pull it off somehow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You are a lifesaver. Baxter retrieved his notebook from his jacket. Not hesitating a second, Xavier matched a move. They had a notepad with order sheets. The wedding industry collaborators began the process of putting in a cake order. All the prior decisions were recounted, and Baxter described the pair in question as best as possible. He managed it well, and you found yourself nodding along with each assessment. It was made extra clear that Scott did not want a cake design laced and frilled out like an 18th century underwear. Xavier had a handful of follow-up questions, but it was nothing that required calling the couple. And then the baker slipped the order form into the pocket of their apron. Amazingly, your work there was done. Having a professional do the desserts really was a breeze.
Good deal.
Thanks for stopping in at Zake. I better get started. They offered a granite as sweet as any slice of cake. Let's see each other again soon, okay? Not as customers, though. That would be nice too, but also to hang out after this shared nightmare is all over. Baxter immediately came in with another throat clear, much harder than before. First off, you shouldn't call the Adams wedding a nightmare, and even if the circumstances aren't ideal, they have done what they could. And second, you're right the first time. Michiko is a friend of the couple and I am working with. We don't hang out together. Oh my god, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. This heart, my heart's hope is constantly shattered. Xavier's face went blank and they paired it with an ever so slight tilt of the head. I'm not sure why you're saying that, but we've all got work to do. You two can explain it next time. I can wait. I don't think Baxter wants to. And I don't live here anymore, so... You wondered if Baxter remembered about 5 minutes ago when each one of Xavier's objections went through one of his ears and out the other, and if his own medicine tasted bad. He bristled. That simply wouldn't do. With firm insistence and exaggerated enunciation, Baxter repeated his standpoint. Regrettably, there won't be a next time the three of us come together like this. Once the wedding has concluded, Michiko will have no reason to interact further. Yeah, it's a totally professional arrangement, you tease. You said we wouldn't see each other anymore last time. Here I am again. No, Xavier has a point. We should do that. You didn't know what to say to either of them. You frowned at Baxter. You know, I'm gonna be petty. Your bluntness had Xavier cackling. They had no idea what the full context was, but the implication was apparent. Blinks could be easily surmised. Baxter shot daggers at you without ever dropping his sparkling customer service smile. That only made it more intimidating.
How wonderful.
Clearly, the two of you will be marvelous friends. And that doesn't extend to you. Exactly.
Now?
Thank you very much for accepting this rush order, Xavier. You are such a help, but we need to be going. In the most roundabout way possible, he was kindly requesting Xavier get off his back already. Then he turned the back directly to them and strode out the door without another word. Xavier watched his dramatic exit with their hands stuffed into the big apron pocket. An unexpected seriousness colored their normally bright features. For as playful as Xavier was, they were concerned about their acquaintance, work friend, normal friend? You didn't know where they stood with him. Xavier himself likely didn't have an answer. Baxter was opaque that way.
Phew.
Good luck with all of this. Thanks, I'll need it. You gave out your goodbyes, not knowing if it'd be for last time or not. I headed after Baxter. No, Baxter, just go home. I'll just Uber or Lyft or something. I'll walk home. This atmosphere is weird. It's like he wants to reminisce, but also doesn't want to. It's alright. You'll see me for a week and I'll disappear for the rest of your life, I guess. Unless somehow we figure this out. Baxter was waiting for you to buy the car. He climbed inside as you approached, before you were close enough to try speaking. I'm taking the back seat. Please take the back seat. I don't want to sit next to this man. He joined him inside. It was tense against all odds. Being alone in a small space with Baxter had managed to become an even more awkward situation. Seated in a buckle, you waited for what he'd do. Baxter asked a simple question. Could you enter in the address of where you're staying? I could drive you there. That was straightforward enough. You punched it in. Thank you. It went quiet again until he was on the road, past the bakery and out of the most traffic-heavy part of the city. Jude and Scott should be pleased to hear they will have a lovely wedding cake. He assumed it would go that way. Of course, Baxter would dance right around what happened without acknowledgement. No, I'm not fighting for it. He's hurting my feelings too much. I'm done. Yeah, they're gonna be happy. And that was it. I don't think he wants to talk about it, so why am I gonna push for it? The highway exit gradually neared. You were both almost home free, yet Baxter had something to say. Alright, I'll let him talk. Michigo, I need to apologize for my improper behavior in the bakery. I'm not any less immature than I was 5 years ago, it seems. He absentmindedly tapped the steering wheel. I'm a wedding planner, and you're someone working on the wedding in your own way. No more, no less. I didn't mean to bring up a potentially uncomfortable topic. That caught you off guard. Okay? You've been so certain he'd never address anything he wasn't forced into. Though before sorry for mentioning the fact that the two of you knew each other was avoiding the root of the problem. Which is why that was something to be worried about to begin with. But you'd given up on trying to talk about it. Okay, I get it.
Good.
Beyond that, he didn't touch on anything from the old days or even remotely intimate. Damn, bro, it was business as usual. Bro, I'm sad. I don't like this interaction. Baxter came up with pleasantries and wedding-appropriate points of discussion to fill the trip of your current residence. Endless small talk was a talent of his, not surprising considering Baxter's chosen career. Things were in motion, but it was as if you weren't going anywhere. Eventually, the destination did arrive and you were returning into the suburbs. Baxter lined up with the side of the road. Rather than pulling into their driveway, he idled with his eyes dead ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you for the assistance today. Have a nice rest of your afternoon. There was an audible click as Baxter unlocked the doors. This hurts my heart. Take care. He got out and walked up from the front before ringing the bell. The day's plans should have the whole rest of the group home and working on guest favors. Baxter's car lingered on the curb in your peripherals. Maybe he wanted to make sure you actually did get inside, or maybe not. You could never guess with him. You started from the door before opening.
Hey,
Michiko, you made it back in one piece. You're already smiling from being back. Hi, Scott. While following your host inside, you stole a last glance behind you. The road was clear. Yeah, he was probably... Should I give him the benefit of the doubt for being a gentleman, just making sure I got in? Wedding HQ was at full capacity in the living room. The supply count had doubled, no tripled since yesterday, and most of it was candy. Presumably, they'd gone down the treat aisle in the local grocery store and gotten a bag of every single one. The only living human you could see sitting in the pile of goods was Jude. He lifted a hand in greeting.
hey.
Hi, Michiko.
Thanks.
You're just in time. We're making lunch. The voices of your friends carried from the kitchen, and as did the smell of hearty, fresh-cut vegetables. Can I have some? Of course.
So,
How did it go at the bakery? Well, great. Xavier is gonna make it, and we told him everything you said about it. The baker was nice. It should be a good cake. Thank you. It's hard leaving it all in someone else's hands, but this is gonna work. Knock on wood. He tapped his knuckles against his own head, chuckling. What? I don't know. Okay, I don't know how he would say that. Thanks. You can help with this? Without stopping his busy work, Jude kicked a nearby bag of chocolates. Oh, sure, I can.
great.
But first. Around the table and between bites of homemade stew, Scott broke down what you'd missed. The actual favors were treat bags, but part of the job included creating a decorated place setter with the guest's name on it that would indicate where everyone was meant to sit at the various tables. Technically, the attendee could take the fancy display with their name, but the couple was under no illusions that anyone would actually want to. It was purely for presentation. Basically, the steps consisted of writing the name down in your best handwriting, applying decals to the basic nameplate, and filling a bag of candy with what the person might like. Dude, that's kind of hard. What that person might like? You have to know that person. to know what kind of candy they want in there. When the meal was done, the full force of this party planning committee came together to tackle the trial guest favors. No one would stop until it was done. A good chunk of the list had been checked off while you were away. And it was simple work, just time consuming. Luckily, there were plenty of people to do it. Many hands make light work, as somebody once said. Wait, that was Baxter who said it. You were almost certain. That sounded like a phrase he'd used. While you were there, Jin mentioned twice how you could throw some of every type of candy into each bag and call it a day without the fuss. You had to imagine neither were the first instance of the objection coming up. But each time Scott remained adamant that they should personalize the selection. If someone was coming to their wedding, they were important enough to have a treat to their taste. Very deliberately, Cove's candy bag had been left empty until you got it back. You were assigned to do that one yourself. It was as easy as taking candy from a baby in order to give those sweets to Cove instead. Well, Cove will take anything, so he's quite easy. But anyway, this is where we're going to stop for today's episode. I feel like this storyline is a little bit sadder than the other two. Just because our relationship with Baxter was kind of like a summer fling, and now we're suddenly back. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.